Hi, in this video I'm going to work through a practice TOEFL ITP or TOEFL SWE Structure Written Expression test. You've got 40 questions, 15 fill in the blank and 15 choose the incorrect part. And they follow some limited number of basic grammar rules. Let's go through the test, look at a little bit of grammar, and discuss some answers and some wrong answers. Blank range in color from pale yellow to bright orange. We need a subject, a simple subject. Canaries range in color from, range is our verb here, so they range in color from this to that. Number 2, blank of precious gems is determined by their hardness, color, and brilliance. We need a subject, and then we've got a prepositional phrase before our verb here. The valuable is an adjective. It is the value of precious gem. Now, it is our subject verb here. We must have the value. To go, we've got a prepositional phrase following the subject, the value, and then the value is singular. It is determined by. Number 3, a tornado spins in a counterclockwise direction in the northern hemisphere. It spins in the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere. Our hint here is the comma, and we have it. We don't have a full stop with a new sentence, and so we must have some sort of concession or transition or something here. Although a tornado spins, that would make sense. And then we give the countervailing information in the second. It spins in the opposite direction in the southern. So although a tornado spins in the counterclockwise direction in the northern hemisphere, it spins in the opposite direction in the southern. Number 4, the Caldecott Medal, blank for the best children's picture books. We've got a double comma situation. We're adding information about our subject. And so we can go about this a couple different ways. The simplest is just to have a relative pronoun, which, but which prize for is incorrect. So we're going to skip that. An option that you might not learn in school, but an option, we can skip which is, we can skip the which and the verb, which is a prize for the, and then we can just go directly to a prize for. Some people might better use a double dash, but we've got a comma and then information telling us what the Caldecott Medal is. The Caldecott Medal, a prize for the best children's picture book, is awarded. This verb is goes with the medal. Number 5, the horn of the rhinoceros consists of a cone of tight bundles of keratin, blank from its epidermis. We need a verb here, or we need either a relative pronoun like which grows from, or we can use the gerund. And in the TOEFL you'll see this several times. Instead of saying which grows from, they'll use the gerund option. Bundles of keratin growing from the epidermis. Number 6, many species of heliotropes or weeds, blank of them are cultivated. We've got our comma here, and so but some of them, we want to have a conjunction after the comma, but some of them are cultivated. That makes sense. Cultivated would not be something we usually associate with weeds, which are a nuisance. If they're cultivated, that means people are intentionally trying to make them grow. And so this would make sense that we have a conjunction indicating some sort of negation or contrast, but some of them are cultivated. Number 7, thunder occurs as blank through air, causing the heated air to expand and collide with layers of cooler air. As blank through air, we need a verb in there at least. As something, it's verb through air. As an electrical charge through air, probably not. As passes through air, as passes an electrical, that's weird word order. As the passing of an electrical charge through air. As an electrical charge passes through air, that's the simplest one. This occurs as or when this other thing happens. We need the verb passes through air. That makes sense. Number 8, researchers have long debated blank Saturn's moon Titan contains hydrocarbon, oceans, or lake. Weather. It's going to be weather. Some people might say whether or not it contains hydrocarbon, oceans, and lakes, though that is not necessary. Whether it contains. Nimbostratus clouds are thick, dark gray clouds, blank forebode rain. Forebode is our verb here, so we want to have which or that. That forebode rain, which forebode rain. Use our relative pronoun to show that we're starting an adjective clause. Those clouds forebode rain. that or which. Number 10, blank in several early civilizations, a cubit was based on the length of the forearm from the tip of the middle finger to the elbow. Used as a measurement, and so this is something that's maybe unique to the TOEFL too compared to some ESL classes people take. We could say a cubit, which was used in several early civilizations, was based on the length, but there's a bit of redundancy with the double was there, so we start out used as a measurement. That is passive voice. Again, we could start the sentence a cubit and then give what the cubic is, or the information that's describing the cubit. A cubit, which was used by people as a measurement in several, or which was used as a measurement by people in several early civilizations, or by several early civilizations. However, we can also change the word order up and start with our verb 3 past participle at the beginning there. Number 11, only when air and water seep through its outer coat does something happen. If you have only when something happens, does something else happen. Number 12, blank seasonal rainfall, especially in the regions near the tropic, is winds that blow in an opposite direction in the winter. So we want to pay attention to this verb is. What causes seasonal rainfall? The thing, that's what causes seasonal rainfall, and then especially in regions near the tropics is just adding information to our subject. Our subject is what causes, or the thing which causes seasonal rainfall is winds that blow. Number 13, the extinct Martian volcano Olympus Mons is approximately 3 times as high, as large as adjective as. As adjective as. As is, I wouldn't say that, but as high as Mount Everest, as high as is Mount Everest. If we have as, we can't have than. As the highest of doesn't make sense. I would say 3 times as high as Mount Everest, but it's not wrong to say this way. As high as is Mount Everest. Some people might say as high as Mount Everest is, but some might say it's wrong to end a sentence in a be verb like that. Number 14, the flight instructor blank at the airbase, when he interviewed. We need a subject and a verb in our little clause here. We have a when, so it starts a clause, he, subject, interviewed, verb, at the airbase, prepositional phrase. The flight instructor said that orders not to fight had been given, right? So the flight instructor is our subject, and what did he say, this part? But we want to add information about the flight instructor. So when he interviewed, when interviewed at the base. Said that orders not to fight had been given. This is all passive voice. When interviewed by somebody at the base. I would say while interviewing at the base. Okay. Number 15, in the northern and central parts of the state of Idaho, blank and churning rivers are. We need a verb there. And we've got a prepositional phrase telling us where. And then we need found, doesn't work, found majestic mountains, somebody, what would be the subject there? And this is something where we can change up the word order and say churning rivers are found in majestic mountains in the northern and central parts of the state of Idaho. Churning rivers is actually our subject. Churning rivers are found. Are found by whom? Well, by anybody, I suppose, who goes there. All right, on to the next part, which is choose the incorrect answer. Light can travel, so that's subject-verb agreement. That's one of the major errors that you'll find on the TOEFL ITP. And there are several different ways that they can make subject-verb agreement incorrect, using prepositional phrases and classifiers and quantifiers and things. Light can travel from the sun to Earth in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. 17, every human typically has. Human is our subject. Doesn't matter if it's every. Human is our subject. This is one of those classifiers, quantifiers that I was talking about. Because human is singular, every human, each of them has 23 pairs of chromosomes in most cells. 18, most sedimentary rocks start forming when grains of clay, silt, or sand. We've got parallel structure here. Clay is a noun, silt is a noun, sand should be a noun. Settle, obviously an adjective, can't verb. Number 19, the total thickness of the ventricular walls of the heart are about 3 times. We've got walls plural, so we need those of the atria. 20, the type of jazz known as swing was introduced by Duke Ellington when he wrote and recorded. Wrote is a verb 3, past participle, so we need parallel structure. Wrote is a simple past, and so we need recorded, still parallel structure, simple past. 21, the bones of animals not like. Like can only be used after the be verb. Bones of animals and other vertebrae are not alike, but bones of animals not like those of other, and I would just say unlike those of other vertebrates. 22, the neocortex has evolved more recently than, that's just spelling or word form. The United States receives a large amount of revenue from taxation of tobacco products. No, products is plural, so of tobacco products. You can't have a singular article with a plural noun there. 24, much fats, many fats. Much is for non-countable. Much stuff, many things. 25, the capital of the Confederacy was originally in Mobile, but they were removed. Well, it was moved to Richmond. The pearl develops when a tiny grain of sand or stone or some other irritant, these are pretty simple, accidentally enters. The English horn is an alto oboe with a pitch 1/5 lower than the soprano oboe. Is an alto oboe with a pitch 1/5. The English horn is an alto oboe with a pitch 1/5 lower than the soprano oboe. Well, is pitch the incorrect word there? We're going to have to flag this one with an octave, with a reverberation, with an alto works, an alto oboe. Pitch 1/5 lower than. We've got comparative adjective, the soprano oboe. We've got singular and alto oboe. We could say a soprano oboe. I wonder if this is a word choice problem, which relates specifically to music vocabulary. I'll try to find the answer to that one. In the Milky Way galaxy, the most recent observed supernova appeared in 1604. The most recently observed, we need an adverb. Never in the history of humanity have there been more living people. People's plural, subject-verb agreement again. And again, this is a word order where the subject comes in the middle to the end of the sentence. We've got this long time reference at the beginning. Because of the mobility of Americans today, it is difficult for them. That's pretty simple word form. For 5 years after the Civil War, Robert E. Lee served as president. Prepositional error. Getting into the splitting hairs range here. The number of wild horses on Assagattig is increasing. The number is increasing. We've got a prepositional phrase here, so this is good subject-verb agreement, resulting in overgrazed marsh and dune grasses. The number of wild horses is increasing. Oh, but has been, that's right, subject-verb agreement, but lately, we should have has been increasing lately. Because it's not really the present simple, usage here. Our lately is a hint that we should use the present perfect, has been increasing, or present perfect continuous. Lately includes the past, so it's not just increasing now, it has been for some time. Number 33, hypnosis was successfully used, no, that's right, successfully used during World War II to treat battle fatigue. Hypnosis was successfully used during World War II to treat battle fatigue. Well, I think this actually looks fine. Hypnoses, oh, sorry, singular plural, there it is. Is that what we have here? No. Pitch. No. Hypnoses should be SIS, singular. Number 34, the lobster, like many crustaceans, can cast off a damaged appendage, and regenerate a new one. It's not damaging, it is damaged. It will remove the damaged leg from itself and then grow a new one. Humans develop normally normally develop. Generally, our adverb is going before the verb there. The curricula of American public schools are set in individual states. They do not determine, they are not determined by. We've got by, so it's passive voice. We don't use do with passive voice. The fact that the sophisticated technology has become part of revolution in travel, has become part of the revolution, or revolutions in travel delivery systems, has not made travel schedules less hectic. We have a singular countable noun. Generally, we need an article with that. Has not become part of revolutions, of a revolution, of the revolution. I think we're talking about the revolution in travel delivery systems. And then all of this is a relative clause here. The fact is our subject, and then has not made. The fact, when we have that, we start our relative adjective clause here. The sophisticated technology has become part of the revolution in travel delivery systems. And now we have our verb for the subject, the fact. The fact has not made travel schedules less hectic. 38, Balachine's plotless ballets, or sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, such as Jules and the Four Temperaments, present dance purely as a celebration. 39, in a solar battery, a photosensitive semiconducting substance such as a silicon crystal is the source of electricity. An electrician is a person. That one was easy. I would put a comma before such as, but it's not necessary, I suppose. Crystal, okay, we can say that's non-countable. So we don't need an article. Number 40, in early days, hydrochloric acid was done. Now, do doesn't work for every verb. Was made by heating a mixture of sodium chloride with iron sulfate. So let's look back up for the soprano oboe question, 27. That of the D. Oh, yeah, that's actually fairly intuitive. Oh, okay. Because it has the pitch, we want to compare the pitch, then the soprano oboe is not a pitch, but it has a pitch, so we would say that of the. Good. All right, so there are a few very simple errors to look out for: subject-verb agreement, a little bit of word form. Most of them are fairly intuitive and follow basic grammar rules, but the TOEFL does have some word ordering that can be a little confusing because they sometimes put the subject at the end of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence, or they're going to rearrange some parts of the sentence in order to make it a little bit less straightforward, and that's just part of English grammar, which even a lot of native speakers don't know too well. Though they use these things, they don't know the meta-grammar, the meta-language. So with practice, perfect practice makes perfect, or with more practice, skills will improve. So continue practice. Thank you.